Some interviews you look forward to more than others on the country. Here's one I've kind of been dreading because I don't know how to polish a turd when it comes to talking about the wool market. So I'm going to leave it up to my wool correspondent, or one of them, Rob Cochrane from PGG Wrightson Wool. And Rob, I know you had the last sale of the season, I think, yesterday. How do you polish a turd?
Good afternoon, Jamie. Yes, it's difficult, isn't it? The wool sales yesterday, North Island and South Island, wound up the season for 1920 with around about 17,000 bales offered in total, 8.5 roughly in each island. And there's a lot of growers that are trying to polish that same thing because a lot of the growers are still resisting, or not necessarily as much in the North Island as in the South. I mean, there's a reason behind that, but growers are sort of resisting and holding wool as well, and so we end up passing about 9% of that offering in the North Island yesterday and about 18% in the South. As I said, the South Island's a little bit different because we're getting a few mid-micron wools coming forward, and those guys are taking a fairly good hit as well as the crossbreed growers. So those mid-micron people are worried they've probably lost 50% compared to this time last year. The crossbreed growers have lost about $1, but over $1 clean, which is probably not quite 50% yet. So that's a slight positive.
Rob, can I put this into some sort of historic perspective? Because I think that you may have done some homework on that. But I put it to you in real terms, wool has never had a slump like this. And I'm talking strong crossbred wool. Am I right or am I right?
You are right. In my life, I haven't seen this ever like this. I was looking at some history yesterday. We're putting something on our Facebook page today, but just about where the wool was in 1969, and there was different things happening in the marketplace then. We had a wool board and we had a wool commission. I'm sorry, it was still the wool commission, but at that stage, at the end of the season, which was July '69, same day I think man landed on the moon, and also I think colour TV was almost coming in then. We had a wool price of about 23 cents per pound. So I haven't done the homework on working it out to how many posts that might have bought nowadays or how many sheep it may have shorn, but certainly we haven't seen what we're seeing at the moment.
Mind you, what is it, 2.2 pounds in a kilogram, so that gets it up to 20, that's about 60 cents a kilogram, but that's 1969. If we take in inflation, that is way ahead of where we are at the moment. Look, I had a farming mate of mine, and admittedly this was from a wool broker in the shed price, not the same as an auction price. He got $1.11 for his second share wool, yielding 83%. It's criminal. What has caused this?
Oh, there's just a combination of things, I think, Jamie, but you're right. A bale of wool, I just worked out this morning, a bale of crossbreed fleece wool at about $1.30 greasy is worth about $220 or something like that, whereas, it's a long way from outside the cost of production by a long way. But there's a lot of things incorporating this. We certainly haven't been saved from the COVID thing. A lot of companies in Europe, processors have had to close the doors. Are starting to open up, so there might be a little bit of hope there. But pretty much the global industry at the moment is represented by China, no one else, and they're buying and taking it in. So I guess they've got a lot of things their own way. This hasn't just happened overnight. We've seen the last 3 or 4 years that the price of wool has been going down. And if we've got issues in the monetary world, financial world, people don't have money to buy products that are made of wool. They don't have to buy wool. That's something we have to remember from time to time, that people don't have to buy it, and so that's going to cause us some issues.
Ultimately, until we find a really sustainable alternative use for strong crossbred wool, we're buggered.
Those of us who've been in the industry for a long time still have a passion for the product, and that's why we're here, and we have a passion for wool growers who do grow it. But you're right, until we do find some new uses. I think a lot of the traditional uses are still the things that will help us out of this hole, and that is carpets, interior furnishings, those sorts of products. And I know a lot of the architects around the place do try and specify wool, but when it comes to the final tick-off of a building, perhaps in a commercial sense, it comes down to